Okay, I just picked up this 11-inch M5 iPad Pro, and so far I am in love with it. My workflow consisted of me using an iPad mini with an M4 Mac mini, and I decided to go ahead and upgrade that to the M5 iPad Pro. And it's funny because I had contemplations between choosing the 13-inch or the 11-inch iPad Pro, but I am so glad I went with this size. I noticed that whenever I had the M2 13-inch iPad Pro, I loved that mini LED screen back then. But now that both displays are absolutely insane on the 11-inch and 13-inch iPad Pros, I knew I needed to go with the 11-inch. So not only did I pick up this iPad Pro for my new productivity device, but I plan to also use this tablet more in the tablet mode than I have used my iPads in the past. And I am so glad I decided to wait and get the M5 over the M4. Now, on the surface, there isn't that big of a difference, but you will be surprised. There are actually features on this M5 iPad Pro that really aren't being talked about enough. This is the first iPad with fast charging, the first iPad that starts with 12 gigs of RAM. Get the improved connectivity with the new Apple chips for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular. You now get that smoother display whenever you display this iPad up to your TV or your monitor. And like I said, I never used the M4. So there's two things that struck me right away. Firstly, the thinness. Oh my goodness. I have the iPhone Air, and this iPad is essentially the same size as the iPhone Air is. It is crazy thin. I'm not even entirely sure, again, how Apple is making devices this thin, especially a tablet. Like, I noticed right away, it feels so light when you're using it. It is honestly unbelievable. You still have those quad speakers built into this. You still have a pretty good sized battery. It just feels so light. It is absolutely a phenomenon. And when you look at this display, like whenever you hold this iPad Pro in your hand, it feels like a thin piece of glass with this crazy, big, bright, beautiful, punchy display. I absolutely love this. Like, people were not kidding whenever they talked about these new iPad Pro displays. I'm used to the mini LED display and the LED display that were on the previous iPad Pros, but this really is next level. And like, I didn't think the iPhone 17 display could be beat by another Apple product, but yeah, this is awesome. And it just enhances the multimedia experience overall. Like, this iPad Pro, of course, has those quad speakers that sound fantastic. So whether you're gaming, watching sports, movies, YouTube videos, you will have a great experience. Like, you won't get any of that ridiculous hand fatigue you will get like you used to get with these iPads. And that's also one of the reasons why I really like this 11-inch. I feel like my productivity really isn't losing that much by going with the 11-inch, but the benefit of this size is the portability. So I'm able to throw this in my bag a lot easier. It weighs less. Technically, the 13-inch is thinner than this model, but yeah, to me, this is the perfect size. And I ended up picking up the Magic Keyboard. Now, I decided to skip out on the folio case from Apple, but the Magic Keyboard, man, the white color matches perfectly with this iPad Pro. When you put them together, it really looks like an 11-inch MacBook. And yes, this combination is absolutely beautiful, but there is no protection on the sides of your iPad. Like, this iPad Pro is expensive, and I want my silver color to look as good as possible for as long as possible with this silver color not being all scratched up. And Moft actually sent me their new connected case. And the cool thing about the connected case is that it protects your iPad Pro whether you are using a Magic Keyboard or you are using one of the folio cases. So the Apple folio case or even Moft's dynamic folio case. And it doesn't add any weight or bulk either. It is only 0.06 inches thin. It's lightweight and easy to carry. And whenever you do have this on your Magic Keyboard, it's like nothing is there. And it also has the built-in holder that supports your Apple Pencil. So it really just keeps your Apple Pencil put in place where it should be. And I always notice, like, whenever I put my iPad in my backpack, there was always that opportunity for my Apple Pencil to be knocked off and thrown around in the bottom of the bag. And then whenever you look at Moft's dynamic folio case, you can use it in a multitude of different ways. So for example, you can use it in the theater mode, or you can use it in the dual screen mode. It is a very unique product that I just love. I will leave a link down below for you to check out Moft and these two products, along with my coupon code that will save you 10% off of your order. And the performance of this M5 is a game changer. Whenever I am playing games or tossing this iPad up with an external display, there is no lag no matter what I do. And I think that additional 12 gigs of RAM is really helping here. Them jumping to 12 gigs on the base model is awesome. Like, of course, I wish they just went ahead and went with the 16 gig for base and then put 24 gigs on the 1 terabyte and larger models. Now, it's funny because the majority of time Apple talks about this M5 chip, they compare it to previous generations, not the M4, but the generations before that, especially the M1. Like, that's awesome that this device is so much better than the M1 iPad Pro. You know, for how old the M1 model is, like this should be a lot better. And they keep talking about the AI capabilities and power that this device has, which is awesome as well. But Apple Intelligence is still Apple Intelligence, so I don't know about that. But yeah, the performance is excellent. Whether I am scrolling around the operating system, using all of the new iPadOS 26 features like Stage Manager and the Windows apps modes, this iPad handles all of it. And gaming has been awesome as well for the games that work. Now, this iPad has only been out for a couple of days, so there are actually incompatibility issues with a few games. Like I tried to play Destiny Rising, and after I installed it and downloaded all of the prerequisites, this iPad is not working with that game. It won't launch. And I also saw a few other people on Reddit having the same issue. So I hope that they fix that very soon. But I think there will be a little bit of incompatibility issues early on with the different applications and games, but that's kind of to be expected with a brand new product. And the fast charging on this iPad is awesome. I have already had to charge this up halfway through the day on one of my heavy days, and it charged insanely fast. I was just using an Anker 45 watt power adapter, and it charged very, very quickly. So I do love that ability on the iPad Pro. I know a lot of people, they dock up their iPad Pro and they don't think about charging. But say, for example, I worked half a day on the iPad Pro exclusively, whether I'm video editing or I am watching a whole bunch of videos or gaming or whatever. And my iPad is about 30 or 40% halfway through the day. And you say, you know what, I want to go work at the coffee shop and finish up my work there this afternoon. And I don't think I really have enough juice. Just plug in your iPad Pro using fast charging, and you will have enough juice to get you through the rest of your workday. Or even like me, you work through the workday and past the workday as well. Fast charging will definitely help you in those instances. And I'm actually surprised it took them this long to bring fast charging to this iPad Pro. But that's definitely a feature that I love with this device. And I do wish I could have gotten the 1 terabyte, 16 gigs of RAM, nano texture displayed M5 iPad Pro. I would have loved the nano texture display. Now, of course, you can just pick up a matte screen protector, but I really wanted to try out that nano texture display. So maybe next time. But yeah, if you have one of the nano texture displayed iPad Pros, let me know how you are liking it. Like, do you think it's actually worth the extra money? And Apple went ahead and upgraded the connectivity on this iPad Pro as well. So you get the Apple C1X chip if you have the cellular model. And then you get the new Apple N1 chip that includes Wi-Fi 7. Now, of course, not a lot of people have Wi-Fi 7, but the benefit of Apple putting it in their Pro devices now is that, like, say you buy this now and then you upgrade to a Wi-Fi 7 in a couple of years, if you still have this iPad Pro will already give you the best wireless connections with that new router whenever you get it. So I think that that's cool that Apple brought that feature. I think one of the downsides of the iPad Pro is that it still only has one USB-C port. So you have to have some type of dock if you want to charge your iPad Pro and display your iPad Pro to an external display at the same time. And I don't like that. Like, I wish for a device like this, it had more than one USB-C port. And speaking of external displaying, I have already used this iPad Pro with Sidecar and with external display support. So Sidecar on this is absolutely godsend for productivity beasts. Like, this 11-inch screen, depending on how you put it up with your setup, is an excellent addition to your Mac device, whether it's a MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, or MacBook Mini. This is an awesome feature. Now, I also tried the new external display support, which now supports 120 Hertz, which is awesome. I use a 42-inch LG OLED TV as my main display for all of my work duties. And this device, it just plugs and plays directly into the TV using a USB-C to HDMI 2.1 adapter. And I don't have to adjust any settings or anything other than making the display extend externally as opposed to duplicate. It's just plug and play. You don't have to do any type of finagling to get the 120 hertz mode to work. I absolutely love that feature. I'm surprised they didn't have that ability with the M4 model. So I am definitely glad that I waited and got the M5 because I would want to take full advantage of my display. This is a 120 hertz TV. I want to use the 120 hertz, whether I am using the external mode for gaming or productivity. I want my mouse wheel to scroll in the most buttery way possible, which right now is 120 hertz on my TV. So great job, Apple, bringing that here. I just wish I had one more USB-C port to make it a little bit easier to charge while doing that, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm really excited to test out this iPad Pro a lot more, especially with iPadOS 26. I want to get down to the nitty-gritty of the iPad Pro professional experience. I want to be able to run my entire channel from my iPad Pro. I want that ability to, loop away from the M4 Mac Mini because this is not really a portable device. I want that ability to work totally portably wirelessly with a really thin device like this that still allows me to use a touchscreen and a pencil, which the Mac cannot offer. So yeah, so far I'm very, very impressed with this M5 iPad Pro. Let me know what you all think about the iPad Pros down below, and let me know if you picked up one as well. So thanks for watching this video, you all. Make sure to like and subscribe if you liked it, and I will see you all in the next one.